Hey guys, Jonathan Spike here, back again once again, and today we are continuing a new stream in Fontaine. So let's hop on into it. Last time we were investigating on the missing disappearance cases, and we spoke to Monsieur Neuvillette, and now we're going to Poisson. So let's hop on into this. Looks like Poisson is over there. That is going to be a good ways to get there.
This
Alright.
scenery is wonderful. Surely enough to convince anyone to become a wanderer.
Yeah, hold on. Let me look at that map one more time. Because that is quite a ways away. Um, so we'd have to go to the main area, take the aqua bus, and then get over there. Although it might, yeah, let's take the aqua bus and just collect any waypoints that we have around there. That's the smartest choice. Good thing I looked up there. We're going after that first. I was like, wait a minute. This place is really high up, isn't it? My gamer intuition was going off.
The wind knows me.
And it looks like I was right. There's a Hydroculus up there. And we're gonna go collect.
Into the wind.
Oh geez, these corners. No. Oh geez, I absolutely hate that they have it like this to where you can't climb properly. Because it makes it such a pain to get up here. Alright. And this. Alright. Still got a ways to go since we gotta climb that tower in the center.
Clear weather all around brightens the heart.
Huh, the rain cleared up.
One with nature.
Alright, how much further do we have to go? Quite a ways in back, jeez. I did not expect this to be this high up either, so... No! Ooh. Ah, we are running out of stamina. Do we have stamina food? Please tell me that we have stamina food. Restores 100 stamina. Decreases climbing and sprinting 25% for 900 seconds. Okay, so we use this, and then we use this, and then we should be good. Yeah. Okay, but we do need to get down so we can go over here. Ah, geez, climbing this is going to be a pain. It really is. If we can wedge ourselves back here, we shouldn't fall down. And then we can just... Oh no. We're in a glitch state, aren't we? Yeah. Hold up. And we're back in...
Into the wind.
There we go. So we have a little bit of height. Jeez. I definitely did not expect to be climbing this today. But it looks like we're doing it. Plus, I think it's worth it to be able to see the view of all of Fontaine from up here. Oh no, no, don't tell me. Can we make it? hate these edges. We have to drop down and immediately use it. Oh, or not. Okay. That works. Alright. Now I want to view all Fontaine really quickly. So we have that mountain over there. I've got the little village over there. Like, it looks nice. Like, Fontaine really looks nice from all the way up here. Those bones look similar to the dragon that's over in Inazuma. There goes the Aquabus line. I'm assuming that's the prison that they were talking about. And then that is over by the court. This is the court, but that's over by the opera house. Yeah, so it's interesting to see all of Fontaine from up here. You just go and view everything from up high. Alright. So we do need to get this waypoint though. And that's the only one that we don't have inside the court of Fontaine. So if we keep on making our way forward, we should be able to get it. Oh, look what we have here. Another Hydroculus. See if we can get it though. Alright. Let's keep on moving forward. We are approaching it. I don't see where it is though. Looks like the Aquabus line is... Does it pass through here? Oh yes it does. Since I don't see the teleport waypoint, we're just gonna go back to where the Aquabus is so we can just take that line back.
Follow the wind.
Alright. Can we not take the Aquabus line from here? I think this might be over here where we have to take the Aquabus from. There we go. Wait for the Aquabus. I really not get that artifact?
Welcome
There we
to the
go.
court of Fontaine. Please watch your step.
Alright. When does the Aquabus head out? Alright. Oh, we can sit down on here. That's cool.
Okay, I'm back to work. Please take your seats. It's time for our merry departure. This Aquabus tour is bound for Romaritime Station, and I'm your tour guide, Ava. I'm here to tell you all about the amazing scenery we'll pass by on the Clementine line. Even though I'm not an expert tour guide, when it comes to interesting stories and important places in Fontaine, I definitely know a thing or two. I hope that my commentary will give you a newfound appreciation for this nation, and that you'll be inspired to visit every corner of Fontaine, just like Elfin was.
Alright. So, I think that might be their base over there. Let me check the map really quickly. Yeah. It's looking like that's it. But I do want to go a little bit farther on the Clementine line so I can get the other teleport waypoints.
Passengers, if you look into the distance, you'll see Elinas, large as a mountain. The hometown of us Melusines, Marisi Village, is right over there. legends say that long ago, Elinas came to Fontaine and asked the people, "Is there anything I can do?" At the time, we Melusines were super tiny, and our hands were even smaller. And we were so sad that we couldn't build houses like everyone else. So the people said in unison, "Then why don't you become the home of the Melusines?" And thus Elinas just rolled over right there and poof! It's been a few hundred years since then. When you think about it, everyone in Fontaine and Elinas really is gentle and kind.
Huh. So over there is where the Musines are from. And it does look like there's a statue of the Seven over there, so we might want to go grab that.
Okay, our boat is now passing through Poisson Tunnel. It's said that to deal with the crisis of the Second Diluvian period, some people thought about using the tunnel boring tech to hollow out the mountain and build a city inside. But if the water covered the mountain, wouldn't the people inside suffocate? Or were they going to build a super tall tower to breathe through? A tower like that would need to be super duper huge and really strong. Even with all the engineers and workers in the country, it would take hundreds of years to finish the work.
No!
So that plan definitely wouldn't work.
The aqua bus is faster than I run! I fell off, no! I can't outrun the aqua bus. It's too fast. Yeah, that thing's out of sight. Well, it's not really out of sight, but it's far. No way I'm outrunning that. Anyways, this is about the spot we need to go anyways. Because it seems like there's teleport waypoints over here, so let's go ahead and grab those. I was kind of looking forward to hearing more stories, but we got a mission that we gotta do. So there should be a teleport waypoint right over here. So let's go ahead and grab this. And it looks like there's one underneath the water. But I don't know how we're supposed to get underneath the water, so... Huh. Let's see. So it wouldn't hurt if we popped over there and then popped back. So let's use Ayaka to get across easily. We'll pop over there, grab the Statue of the Seven, so we'll have all Fontaine unlocked. And then we'll pop right back.
Suffocate!
The wind knows me.
Alright. Those treasure hoarders weren't really
Says there
much of a
are
challenge.
benefits to a life of wandering.
Those flowers are new.
Time to go.
What are these? Fluty Lotus. Huh. Alright.
Time to go.
There's another Hydroculus over here as well.
Another test subject.
Into the wind.
Suffocate!
Nope. Get back on the boat. Great, Jean-Lee.
Gather!
The wind knows me.
Here we go. What is that? It's mining the ores. Oh wait, that thing is an enemy? Oh, oh. Alright, Zhongli.
I will have order.
Okay, so it is affected by Zhongli.
Fallen leaves, adorn my night.
I was about to say, is it too
One
big
with
to be
nature.
affected?
Sakura swirl!
Riptide.
Ah.
The wind knows me. It's fine.
Oh jeez. Chill out. There we go. Does it not drop anything? Oh no, it does. Meshing gears. What is this?
Stabilize.
Condensate crystal. I have a feeling that that's going to play a huge factor. Alright. It's like a hot spring area? It's bubbling, so I would assume so. It says that it should be right here. Oh wait, what? Oh, let's not go in here. Okay. That's what it meant. Okay.
Much remains
What?
finished.
What did we die to? No, what did we die to? Hold up, no. Wait a minute. Heal up Ayaka, get Zhongli's barrier, because that literally means we... No, get away from it. That literally means that we cannot be here.
Gather.
Let's get out of here, because we should get... Oh, we do get hurt if we do that. Alright. Yeah, let's just stay away from there. We'll figure that out later. Because obviously we can't be over there. Ah, jeez. The Statue of the Seven should be just ahead. That is disappointing that we can't get the thing that's over there. Oh, there's a teleport waypoint over there too. Definitely want to grab that before we head back. Alright. Statue of the Seven is now open, so now we have this area. Alright. Worship statue. Alright, let's go ahead and offer the ones that we do have. Alright. I do want to go get that teleport waypoint though. It is right over there. It's not too far.
Into the wind.
That should do the trick. What is that going to do? Huh. Anyways, there should be... Is that a blimp? I know Fontaine is advanced, but I didn't expect they had blimps here. Anyways, let's go grab this waypoint. And then we need to make our way over there. So we can just... Yeah, we should be able to cut straight across. I don't see why not. We'd have to choose a closer edge, but yeah, we should be able to cut straight across from there. Oh, no, not with that stamina. Jeez. I thought we had full stamina. That would have been really bad. Alright, now that we have full stamina, now we can cut across. Oh wait, are those Eidolon? Those look like Hydra Eidolon, but they look different. Oh, they're enemies.
The wind knows me.
Whirling snow!
Clouds high. The birds call. Into the wind.
Oh, what the frick? Hey.
Order guide you.
Please, chill out.
Solidify.
I just beat one of them.
Take flight!
Jeez, I did not expect those things to be aggressive. They look exactly like Hydra Eidolons. Tainted water. Maybe they're tainted versions of the Hydra Eidolons? That could be it. Huh. Anyways, let's make our way to Procyon. It should be just up this hill. Oh, there's more of these things.
Whirling snow!
One with nature.
Gather.
Kamisato art! Sumetsu!
As one with wind and cloud. The wind knows me.
Hydrophantasm? Huh.
A fateful offering.
That's interesting. So it looks like this is the spot that we're supposed to go to, right? Yep. Wait, is this it?
Time to go.
Doesn't look like this should be it. Oh, they have mecha dogs? That's so cool.
This is order.
Too bad it needs to be put down.
Stabilize.
Into the wind.
My apologies!
Clouds high. The birds call. One with nature.
Alright. I'll take this chest.
A fateful offering.
And
Time
Procyon
to go.
should be somewhere down here. So she said that this is their main base. Certainly is interesting, I'll give it that. I expected their main base to look like a mansion or something. But this also works. Whoa. Alright, so does look like we are here. And it also does look like there is a Hydroculus up here that I am going to collect. It should be right here. Oh. Yeah, you're going to be a pain to get. Okay, we're going to come back for you. But we've already spent enough time doing stuff that we're not supposed to be doing, so we'll go back and get that Hydroculus later. Let's go figure out where we're supposed to go now. Alright. Talk to Navia.
Whoa! What a huge ship! Why would a ship be anchored at a place like this?
There's no need to be so surprised. While it may look like a ship, it's actually Spina di Rosula's headquarters. My father was the one who asked for it to be built like this. Perhaps our taste in exterior design is the only thing we occasionally had in common. A gigantic and glamorous ship embodies discovery, opportunity, ambition, and conquest. It symbolizes Spina di Rosula's bright and limitless future.
I think I'm starting to get why you like it.
And Paimon thought you were bluffing when you said Spina di Rosula had a glorious past. Paimon was confused why a group with such a history would live in the sewers. But now that Paimon has seen this ship for herself, she's been convinced.
Well, Poisson is where Spina di Rosula began, after all. It's our main base, our home.
Alright, talk to Melis on the ship. So there are hydroculi down here. And it does look like we're supposed to make our way over here, so... Question is, where is it? Is that underneath the water? I don't even know if we can go down there. Huh. Because I know it said that we could dive, but I don't know how to right now. So let's just focus on the task at hand. We'll work on getting those later. So we need to make our way up there. Alright. Wait, tomato? Alright. So how do we get on the ship? Okay, there we go. This is a nice looking ship though.
Melus, we're back!
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle, and our most important partners. You said before that you still had some business at the court. What brings you back to Poisson so quickly?
About that. It's because my partner here reminded me of something really important. You see, what if my father's case had something to do with water from the primordial sea? You still remember, right, Melus? On that night, it was raining?
Yes, the case was quite similar to that of Mr. Linney's. Both were what you'd call impossible murders.
Could the mastermind be the same person?
Could you tell us a bit more about what happened before?
Yeah, of course. Many years ago, something called synth began to gain popularity in Poisson. At a glance, it was a kind of drink that could excite your mood and produce many pleasant hallucinations.
Wait! Didn't that guard guy who turned into water also mention that the primordial water could be used to produce some kind of potion?
Yes, he did. Considering what we know now, it's almost certain that synth is created using water from the primordial sea. If you drink synth for an extended amount of time, you'll suffer many side effects, such as losing the ability to focus or control your emotions. And if you were to stop drinking it completely, you'll experience flashes of paranoia and anxiety while lacking energy to do anything. It's an extremely dangerous substance. As he oversaw Poisson, my father was compelled to put a stop to synth abuse and called for a complete ban of it.
Boss's uncompromising attitude incurred the synth vendor's wrath, but no matter how much they threatened or bribed him, he refused to yield. Not only that, Boss became determined to find the mastermind behind the synth operation and put an end to the problem once and for all.
Yes, but the enemy was very cunning. So he could never get anything out of the dealers, all of whom only sold the stuff and weren't privy to the rest of the operation. Recognizing that, My father decided to contact the dealers in secret and cultivate personal relationships with them. Finally, he was able to convince someone to become his informant. The man's name was Jacques. He felt greatly ashamed about his work after seeing many families destroyed by synth abuse. That night, my father hosted a banquet at his countryside estate. He planned to meet up and exchange information with Jacques over some food. But then, we heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. We raced to the scene and found my father, still holding a gun, and Jacques, who was already dead on the ground.
Huh? How did that happen? Aren't they on the same side?
Sounds just like Lenny's case, doesn't it? In both cases, the culprit seemed obvious, but neither appeared to have any motive at all. Looking back on it, though, I now believe the most important clue was something we all overlooked at the time. There were pieces of clothing left at the scene.
So, they could have belonged to someone who got dissolved.
Precisely. It's all thanks to you that I made the connection now. Back then, we all just thought they were some costumes that Jacques used to disguise himself at the banquet. But, considering it now, it's almost certain that they belong to a third person at the scene. With one extra person, we'll also need to reconsider why the 2 shots were fired.
Maybe your father got into an argument with Jacques. But it's also possible that the third person was to blame.
You're right. We still don't know what happened. But my intuition tells me that we're on the right track to figuring it all out. I'm finally headed towards the truth.
Jacques was an empathetic man who was infinitely remorseful for his past actions. It's unlikely that he turned on Boss with 0 warning. I think this third person is probably the key to the full truth. On that note, however, even though this will not please you, demoiselle, as your and your father's butler, I must still offer a word of warning. Our opponent is insidious and cruel. They are extremely difficult to deal with, and Boss has already lost his life trying to bring them to justice. Even though Spina de Rosula has lost most of its former glory, Poisson has welcomed a new time of peace, and we have been allowed to live out our lives. There is no need to follow your father's path. It would be both wise and in line with Boss's wishes to step back and give up on the case.
If that's indeed what he wished for, then he should have told me that himself. Was I not the closest person to him? And yet, I was the one most kept in the dark. What was the point of him dying without sharing any of the secrets he knew? Did he manage to protect anything in the end? Synth is still here. Callus the Unfaithful is still his epithet. And Spina di Rosula is barely getting by. Nothing has changed. Did he think I'd just accept his meaningless death and live out my life just as meaninglessly? I've never accepted that, ever. Not since that day, and certainly not now. I want to find out the real answer for everyone's sake. For the missing girls, for the victims, and for myself.
Navia.
This is indeed the best moment to act. Your partner appears to be quite reliable, and more importantly, demoiselle, I think you're also ready to take this on.
So you do know something else, Malus?
Yes, I do. In fact, even before that banquet, Boss already knew of the connection between Synth and the serial disappearances case. But what drove all the tensions to the boiling point was the revelation that you, demoiselle, had been selected as the next target to disappear.
What?
Boss also didn't tell you that he had been diagnosed with a rare illness. The doctors told him that he had no more than 5 years left to live. And the serial disappearances case caused him great anxiety. 5 years was nowhere near enough time to resolve this long-standing conflict. But once he passed away, all the danger would pass on to you. Knowing all of this, he decided to use one final intimidation tactic before his death. He claimed to have already gotten his hands on some key incriminating evidence for the other side, and even told some members of Spina de Rosula about the details. But as long as you remained safe, he would not share the evidence with the public. If something were to happen to you, then he and all those he told would immediately expose all they knew about Synth and the disappeared victims.
Right, so nobody would be able to get off scot-free.
As we've seen, Boss's tactic has worked. Even though Boss has been gone for a long time, the other side has not tried to take Demoiselle's life.
No, I don't believe it. He never appeared to look sick to me.
No father wants their daughter to see them weak and haggard, especially someone as proud as Boss. To him, dying in a duel and suffering lasting dishonor as the unfaithful was still far preferable than losing face in front of his daughter.
So he chose to die in silence, so that he could protect me.
I'm afraid you're not understanding this correctly, Demoiselle. What Boss wanted to hand to you was not a parasol, but a sword. If Boss's spirit could hear you telling me that you want to find the answer for the sake of everyone involved, I'm sure he'd be extremely proud.
That fool. Couldn't he have just given it to me straight? No. He might have set up everything precisely because he never thought I'd be able to understand him. Is that the amount of confidence he had in me? And what if I was never able to make it to where I am now?
He gave you the choice to live how you want.
Yeah. I suppose that's true. With the way he'd set things up, if I had wanted, I could have just lived out my life without a care in the world. But thankfully, he rarely talked to me about complex matters, and thus understood little of me as a person. In this case, he really didn't need to give me an easy way out. Malus, what was the key evidence that he shared with you?
It's the location where Synth is produced. Essentially, it's the enemy's headquarters. When he was threatening the enemy, Boss didn't share the specifics of the incriminating evidence he found. But if you want to use it against the enemy, you'll still have to take several things into consideration.
Why? If we know where the place is, can't we just go storming in?
You mustn't forget that we're fighting against a mysterious and dangerous organization that's been in operation for decades. There's no telling what might be lying in wait at their headquarters. We also have no idea what kind of evidence we may be able to find inside, nor what people we may be able to capture. But a single visit to their headquarters would be tantamount to a formal declaration of war. The worst case would be that we leave empty-handed, but also open ourselves up to full retaliation.
Then, in that case, why not work with the Fontaine authorities?
Well, you saw one of them dissolve during Mr. Linney's case. We have no idea just how thoroughly they may have been infiltrated.
Huh. That's true. Seems my father really had no choice. But things are different now. It should be a lot easier to prove the other side's guilt, now that we've connected Synth with the disappearances case.
You sound like you've put a lot of thought into this, Malus.
I am the butler, after all. I live but to serve the boss and Demoiselle's will. I've always been willing to take on any kind of risk for your sake. But considering my relative lack of ability, I've spent my time keeping secrets, performing basic investigations, and waiting for the right time to come.
Thank you for all of that, Malus. Have you discovered anything new in the past few years?
Let me think. One conclusion I came to was that the enemy must be quite familiar with Spina di Rosula, or at least have an informant planted here. When I announced orders to the organization's members on Demoiselle's behalf, I used to deliberately keep a few people in the dark and observe the reactions of the synth vendors. If the vendors didn't change their plans, then the individuals informed of our orders must be innocent. If the vendors packed up and fled, however, then someone must have given them the news. After several rounds of testing and investigative tracing, I've narrowed the suspect list down to 3 people. The first is Florent, Spina di Rosula's senior advisor.
Huh? Florent?
Yes, surprising, isn't it? He was one of the people Boss trusted the most, which also means that he was someone who understood Boss really well. Thanks to his position within Boss's innermost circle, he always knew our upcoming plans and could thus avoid capture this whole time. There's someone else like him too. Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabrières.
Uncle Marcel.
What is this confrère?
It's a guild in Poisson. Boss helped it to grow to its current size and prominence. In the beginning, they were only reselling some daily goods, but now they're one of the richest guilds around with a lot of business connections in the city.
So, they're like a sister organization of Spina di Rosula?
Yes, you can say that. When we were fighting against the synth dealers, they provided us with plenty of support. It's a bit difficult to imagine someone using their own money to hunt down themselves.
The final suspect is Thierry, the man responsible for coordinating information between Spina di Rosula and the guards. Although the guards mostly leave us to our own devices, there are still many activities we have to report to the local authorities. Since Thierry is always in the know about our current activities, he could theoretically always plan one step ahead.
I see. These are all people who I communicate with quite regularly. To think that the enemy we've been fighting against has been right next to me all along, among those I trust the most. It's almost too hard to believe.
If you want to investigate them, please take every precaution to not alert the quarry. Judging from our experience, the enemy is extremely cautious.
Of course. And thank you, Malus. You've provided us with a lot of great information.
You're too kind, my lady. I'm just doing my duty. And before I forget, proving Boss's innocence would also mean clearing him of blame in Jacques' death. After that incident, Jacques' wife and daughter were taken into the Spina's care. They still live in Poisson today. If it might help, you could also pay them a visit. I can make the necessary arrangements.
Aw, thank you so much, Malus. You really are the best.
A new case awaits, my dear partner.
Leave it to me.
I hope we can work together to uncover the truth and end this case once and for all.
Alright, so it looks like we have a new case going on. Callus's case records. 3 years ago, on a rainy night, banquet goers heard 2 gunshots outside the house. When they reached the scene, Callus had a gun in his hands, and Jax had also been shot and slain. Based on the investigation done, there was no possibility that anyone else could have done the deed and escaped, and Callus was thus adjudged to have been the culprit. Alright, so it looks like we have a new case going on. And it also looks like there's a Hydroculus over here, so I'm going to go grab it.
One with nature.
Here we go. Alright, let's go speak to Jock's family. Should be somewhere over here. Alright.
It is settled then. Please excuse me and enjoy your conversation at your leisure.
Thank you for arranging everything for us, Malus.
Excuse me, miss. Do you need anything from us?
Oh,
Hey, Navia's all quiet. This isn't like her at all.
Let's not bother her for right now.
I'm sorry that I only came to visit after all this time. After what happened, I didn't know how I was supposed to face the two of you.
Ah, if it's about that, there's no need to apologize. After my husband died, Spina di Rosula sent us a lot of mora and support. I understood your guilt and apology to be genuine.
But aren't all of those things nothing compared to the loss of Jacques? I can understand the kind of pain that comes with losing a father so needlessly.
You don't understand at all.
I didn't know how to face you, because I didn't know what I could possibly bring as a consolation gift. I know only the full truth could bring closure to you, and to all of us.
I'm sorry. I appreciate the sentiment, but you don't have to carry all that guilt. On the matter regarding my husband, my daughter and I have more or less found our answer already.
Would you mind sharing it with me? I really can't believe that my father could ever bring himself to shoot Jacques.
I always knew that my husband's money was earned through others' suffering. He told me countless times that if he could turn back the clock, he would never go into the synth business again. He had many regrets, and felt that he took the idea of providing for his family too literally. For the longest time, he thought Mora was everything. So when Mr. Callis came to him with a proposal, he accepted it almost immediately. He tried to be as careful as he could, but even so, he was still found out by the higher-ups.
They found out about his betrayal?
Papa didn't say that exactly, but Papa did tell me that I should never be ungrateful.
Before he left that day, he told me that he had no choice. It was only later that I realized it was his final farewell to the two of us.
Wait, does that mean that someone ordered Jocks to take out Callus?
I don't know that for sure, but you could say that's the conclusion I eventually came to. Which is why I'm the one who should feel guilty. Callus had always taken great care of us, both when he was still alive and after he passed away. Even if he fired the shot that killed my husband, it was likely in self-defense. It is impossible for me to hate him for what he had done.
But Mama, why is Papa still the bad guy if he did the right thing? Papa always wanted to be a good man, so why did he have to do a bad thing in the end?
Well, things aren't always as they seem. You still feel like your papa was a good man, right?
Yeah, Papa was a really good man. The best in the whole world.
Then you should hold on to that. If a good man had to do a bad thing, then he must have had his reasons. Regardless of whether he left you a parasol or a sword. He must have done so to give you a better life.
Oh.
Thank you for everything you've told me. I will definitely find the truth. The current state of things is not something I'm willing to just sit back and accept.
Thank you. I'm very grateful to hear this from you. Even though your personality is quite different from your father's, your determination when you speak is really similar.
You really think so? That's the first time anyone said that to me.
Testimony from Jock's family. Jock's family believe that he has struggled greatly in order to kill Callus. Did Callus act in self-defense, or were there more to the incident?
There are leaves around, and I know just the tune to...
Are you okay, Navia?
I'm fine. Don't worry. Let's investigate the 3 suspects next. Florent should be nearby, and we should be able to find Thierry and Uncle Marcel in the city. I'll get myself together on the way, so please don't worry.
Greetings, boss. How may I be of assistance today?
I'm sure you've heard about what happened at the Opera House? Someone got turned into water right in front of us.
Yeah, I've heard. With something that dramatic, I'm sure journalists will milk it for all it's worth. And it'll be all the talk for the next several weeks.
It also reminded me, on the day that the incident happened with my father, it was raining outside, and we found some clothes left at the scene. After my partner here put the dots together for me, I feel like we should try to reopen his case. Can you do me a favor and try to recall what happened that night?
Let me think. Mr. Callus was feeling pretty upbeat that day. So he was drinking and bantering away with us at the table. After that, he told us that he wanted to go get some fresh air. So we let him go without thinking much of it. Who knew that we would hear 2 gunshots ring out right after? My first reaction was that Mr. Callus's life was in danger. So I grabbed my holster and made a mad dash toward the scene. But when I got there, it was already too late. Mr. Callus was standing over a dead body with a gun in his hands. All we could do was look back and forth at each other, not knowing what to say.
So you also remember 2 gunshots then?
Indeed. The guard said that the first shot didn't hit anyone, while the second killed Jacques. But I've never really bought that explanation. Reason being, Mr. Callus had left his gun on the table. I even made sure to confirm that before running to the scene. But according to the guards, that doesn't mean he couldn't have had other guns on his person. About the clothes left at the scene that you mentioned, do you think there was a 3rd person there who was turned into water?
It's very possible.
At least from our perspective, my father had no reason to kill, so he would also have no reason to bring an extra gun with him. The gun he was holding probably belonged to Jacques, or a 3rd person on the scene.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you're saying Mr. Callus ended up with the gun because he seized it from one of the other guys? But hold on. If that's what had happened, then why didn't he share the truth with any of us? He didn't even want to face the Oratrice machine, and chose instead to prove his honor in a duel. Did he lose all faith in the courts after seeing someone dissolve right in front of his eyes?
About that, Malus told me a thing or two. So, I think I can understand why he committed to the duel. I'll tell you everything, once the whole truth has been revealed.
I understand. Then, I'll leave Mr. Callus's honor in your hands, boss. And if I may just say one more thing. The whole Callus the Unfaithful epithet. It's been a thorn in my side since the day it was invented. Many people have laughed at me for still calling him Mr. Callus, even after so many years have passed. But it was Mr. Callus's trust that allowed me to rise through the ranks of Spina di Rosula and live the life I lead today. No matter what others might say, he'll always be the man I respect the most. And he'll always be my boss.
Don't worry. I will definitely find the truth. You and all our other comrades at the Spina deserve to know the truth as well.
Information regarding Florent. Florent, the advisor of the Spina di Rosula, di Rosula claimed that he was very grateful to Callus for his kindness. He also was present at the banquet on the day of the case and can provide evidence that Callus did not carry a gun with him when he went out. Huh. Alright. So let's see. So I guess now we're making our way back to here. Alright. So let's see if we can speak to the other two people. So Theory.
Hey, Thierry, it's me.
Oh, now, what brings you here, Miss Navia? I've heard that you made quite the name for yourself at the Opera House.
Oh, so you've got news of that already.
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm also a member of the guards, you know. The way you make it sound, people would think I was sent off to Poisson because I had done something wrong.
Are you sure there isn't a little bit of truth in that? Under normal circumstances, shouldn't you have been called back to the city already?
I mean, where I work is really up to me. Let's just say I enjoy the ambiance of Poisson. Callus did a fantastic job running the town, building Spina di Rosula from the ground up and clearing many obstructions in my way. It would be next to impossible for me to find a similarly easy but high-paying job in the city. Anyway, enough chit-chat. Are these two friends of yours? You, here for some formal business?
Yes. These two are my partners. What happened at the Opera House made us realize that Linny's case and my father's may be related. We're trying to reinvestigate the details of my father's old case.
Ah, I get it. You think there might be more to the case now that we know people can be dissolved into water, right? I was also flabbergasted when I first heard of it. If you want to go through the original files from your father's case, I can help you look for them.
That'd be much appreciated. Thank you. Actually, I have another question. Do you have the authority to dispatch Gardamex?
Of course. Without them, I couldn't possibly handle Poisson on my own. Why do you ask? We definitely can't use them to forcefully get more evidence for your father's case.
Well, you see, just recently, we were attacked by a horde of unnumbered Gardamex in the city. So, if you hypothetically wanted to do something against me, all you would need to do is get rid of the mecha serial numbers and send them after me.
Then you think too highly of my abilities. Dispatching mecha is very different from controlling them. If I had to make an analogy, when you order a dish, the chef will make it for you. You can ask the chef to cook, but not to massage your shoulders or carry your baggage. If you try to make unreasonable demands, the chef would just think you're out of your mind and ignore you completely. The same goes for me and my Gardamex. Removing a serial number is also not as easy as you might think. There are a lot of complex steps to it, and it's almost impossible to keep it a secret. So I can promise you, those mecha were definitely private units. They're certainly not cheap. So, whoever their owner is must be super rich, powerful, or both. Now that you mention it, though, being in the synth business would definitely be profitable enough to afford this.
That does make sense.
Oh, then you're officially in the clear, Thierry.
Oh, well, thank you for the vote of confidence, Navia. Jokes aside, I'd like to wish you all the best with your investigation. I'll be staying in the city for a little while, so just come find me if you need any support from the guards.
Information regarding Thierry. Thierry is the person responsible for official contact between the Spina di Rosula and the gods. According to him, only the sufficiently rich can privately own large number of Gardamex. Huh. Alright, so Marcel should be the third person that we need to speak to, and that is not the map. Alright, so it seems like he's somewhere in the center of the Quarter Fontaine. It's not underground, so we don't need to go underground. Here, let's teleport here. Because there has to be a way that we can get to that teleport waypoint, because it's not underground, but it's not exactly on the top of the surface either. Huh. It's somewhere around here.
Time to go.
Oh, here it is. So we need to make our way this way now. Alright. But this does have me wondering, like, who exactly did it?
Time to go.
Hello. How may I help you? I'm here to see Marcel. Could you please let him know? You can just say Navia's looking for him.
Sure. I will let him know right away.
Ah, Navia, hello. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm not as young as I used to be, so my legs are giving out a bit.
Oh, it's all right, Uncle Marcel. There's no need to stress. I just wanted to talk to you briefly about what happened in the Opera House. I'm sure you saw everything too, right?
Yes, I've never seen anything so strange.
Oh, you were at the Opera House too?
That's right. I went there with Navia to see the magic show. Who knew it would turn into a whole murder mystery? I also witnessed your marvelous sleuthing work. Quite impressive. To beat the Hydro Archon at her own game on her own turf, I can already imagine everyone in Fontaine discussing your exploits over a few glasses of wine.
Oh, Paimon doesn't want to become the talk of drunkards.
Apologies. It's just how Fontaine is as a nation. Everyone loves drama and theatrics.
Uncle Marcel, you've also noticed that other thing, right? The fact that humans can dissolve in water?
Yes, I was reminded of your father's case right away. Is that what you're investigating now?
Exactly. I still don't have much solid proof, but I can sense that the other side has already begun to act.
Oh, and what makes you say that?
We were attacked on Araneus by some unnumbered Gardamex. And there was also an attempt to get me to drink water from the Primordial Sea. If not for the vigilance of my partner, I probably wouldn't even be here talking to you right now.
Oh, you're giving us too much credit. Wasn't it you who protected us?
Alas, it seems things are heating up again. The peace that Callus sought so dearly will soon become a thing of the past. But rest assured, Navia, Poisson will always remain a safe haven for you. If you're scared, you can always return there. If anyone dares to lay their hands on you there, the Confrérie of Cabrières will use its funds to the last Mora to bring them to justice.
Thank you, Uncle Marcel. But I don't intend to go into hiding. I'm going to strike while the iron's hot. Do you have any new thoughts on my father's case?
About that. Sorry, my age is catching up with me, so it'll take me a while to recall my memory. The Confrérie was responsible for that banquet, so I was out and about the whole time making sure things were running smoothly. I didn't even have the time to drink with the guests. Then I heard the sound of a gunshot, and the rest was history.
Oh, it's okay. No need to push yourself. We'll ask around some more, see if there are any valuable clues elsewhere.
Sounds good. Just let me know if you ever need Mora. All my wealth comes from Callus's patronage and support. I'll spend however much it takes to clear his name.
I gotta say this before we finish this up. He's suspicious, but everybody else that we talked to was all like, "Oh, we heard 2 gunshots. Oh, we heard 2 gunshots. Oh, we heard 2 gunshots," and he's all like, "Oh, I heard a gunshot." He's suspicious.
Wherever in this
Information.
world I roam, I carry memories of my home.
I still don't understand why he only said one when everyone else
It is the
distinctly
last
remembers
link
2.
I have to the land of my birth.
Information regarding Marcel. Marcel is the leader of the Confrérie Cabrier and was the organizer of the banquet years prior. The Confrérie and the Spina de Rosula have always maintained a close working relationship, though his recollection of the events of the case is quite foggy. He is willing to defend Navia. Alright, well, let's go over the clues with Navia. Because that whole thing with the only hearing 1 gunshot is suspicious. Very suspicious.
We've talked to all 3 suspects, purely based on their conversations with me.
None of them sounded particularly suspicious.
None of them really screamed that they were the suspect, but that last one was like, I think he's the most suspicious, to be honest.
I suppose that's to be expected, though. If a single conversation's all that's needed to find them out, then my father wouldn't have needed to investigate the case for so many years. Anyway, even though we didn't make a breakthrough, let's still compile what we were able to find.
But where should we start?
I guess we can start with Jacques' motives.
Ah, you're right! Flora mentioned that Callus probably only ended up with the gun because of circumstance. That makes sense.
According to Jacques' family members, he already told them that he had been discovered, and that he had no choice before he left home that day. If I had to guess, he probably received an order from the synth boss to kill my father. Had he refused, he and his family's lives would have been forfeit.
So, Jacques fired the first shot?
If it was Jacques, I wouldn't have fired a shot at all.
Oh? And why is that?
Could he guarantee his safety after killing Callus?
Ooh, that's a good point. Jacques probably already knew that he was just being used as a tool for murder. And once he had completed his mission, he'd be of no more use to his boss.
So, what would make more sense from his perspective would be to turn his back on the Order and seek protection from my father.
Seems the third person was the one who derailed everything.
Makes sense. But without evidence, that's still just a theory. Besides Jacques, the attack from the Gardamex has been bothering me quite a bit as well. It's obvious that our enemy has become more antsy after the secret of the primordial seawater was revealed.
Do you think he knew, even then, that we'd follow this lead to the end?
Given everything that's happened since, it's quite possible. But who among the 3 suspects would have the ability to control privately owned Gardamex?
Marcel. That's what I'm thinking. Because he's the most suspicious. He would have the money to do it. Because he was constantly talking about money, and he's the only person who only heard 1 gunshot, while the other 2 people heard 2. So he's the one who I have the most suspicion about.
Uncle Marcel? My father did really trust him. And they worked together on a large number of projects. Maybe that's how he got to know Jacques. And with funds from the Confrérie, he could also afford a large number of Gardamex. It's still really hard for me to imagine, though. After all, Uncle Marcel has been around since I was just a child. Also, wouldn't this mean he has been spending a whole lot of mora and energy to fight his own synth business?
I guess it could have been someone else. It could be Florent. No, I don't think it'll be Florent because he had... To me, it didn't seem like he had a reason, so it could be Theory. He could dispatch them, but then again, he wouldn't have... He said it himself, he wouldn't be able to give them orders unless they were privately owned. Who knows, let's try it.
Thierry, you say? Huh. It is possible that he's figured out a way to convert the Gardamex for personal use. But I didn't feel like he was lying when he was talking to us about the mecha. I also don't think he'd be able to keep that kind of tampering under wraps.
Yeah, had he actually tampered with the mecha, we'd be able to prove it with a simple check of the guard's inventory. If the mecha were taken from the guards, it should be pretty easy to find out when and how that happened.
Maybe it was someone else. The only person we have left is Florent, but I don't think it's him. We don't really have a lot of evidence that goes up against him.
Florent? It is true that he was closest to my father, and thus had the best chance of learning about his dealings with Jacques. But as Spina di Rosula's advisor, his work mostly deals with personnel and security, so he shouldn't have much means when it comes to finances.
So you're saying he's too broke to afford a mecha army?
Exactly. He can't. And even if he could, I don't think he would be able to dispatch a whole group so quickly. Who could it be?
I think... Okay, let's see what we have here. Irrelevant. I'm sticking with it's Marcel. I really do think that it's Marcel. Okay, so those two are irrelevant. Florent, Theory. I'm going with Marcel. My intuition is telling me that Marcel is the one because he only said that he heard one gunshot. Even if his mind was foggy, there should be no reason why the other two distinctly heard two while he only heard one. So I'm choosing him.
You know, if you think everything through, Uncle Marcel is indeed the most suspicious of them all.
Could we be missing other suspects? Malus didn't know about the people turning into water thing when he narrowed it down to these three, did he?
Malus has always been very reliable, and his judgment of others' trustworthiness has been fair and well considered. When he laid out his case for the three, the rationale he gave me made a lot of sense as well. The suspect is knowledgeable about the Spina's internal affairs, has the means to dispatch Mecha to assassinate us, and possesses significant intellect and foresight. Even if I don't want to believe it, I'm starting to see how things could all tie back to Uncle Marcel.
He is someone who's very close to you after all.
Well, we still have another trump card on top of all the theorizing and speculating.
The synth production base.
Yes, Malus did say that charging straight in there would be extremely risky, but we don't have any other options right now. We need far more solid proof before we can hope to go charging in on our enemy.
Navia, here you are. Oh, I've been looking for you.
Huh? Aren't you the guy from the guards? Did something happen?
Yeah. News came from Irenaeus just after you left. we've got another trial on our hands.
Wasn't that place built specifically for holding trials? What's so newsworthy about this one?
I know. But they said the person they're putting on trial is a Fatui harbinger called Tartaglia.
Wait, child? What the frick did he do?
What? Is that someone you know?
Yeah, we know him. Maybe even a little too well.
Well, he's been accused of being the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case. It's absurd, don't you think?
Wait, how? None of our investigations have had anything to do with him.
That's what I thought was strange about it, so I came to tell you the news right away. If the charge against him stands, then it'll be next to impossible to get the guards to support any of our planned investigations.
Right, because they'll think they've already found the culprit.
Yeah, and it'll be a lot harder then to clear Mr. Callus's name.
I understand. Well, partner, what do you think we should do? We still haven't found any conclusive evidence.
Let's split up for now.
Huh? Split up? What do you mean? Just as expected of my partner. Since this is a trial about the serial disappearances case, the culprit's attention will be focused on Irenaeus, leaving his home base wide open. You're right. This is our best opportunity. All right then, let's do this. I'll stall them at the Opera House and charge Marcel as the true culprit. I won't have any chance of making that charge stick, though, unless we find more evidence. It'll be up to you to make it back in time and hand the decisive evidence to me.
Leave it to me.
We'll help you, just like you helped us in Linny's trial.
Demoiselle, please allow us to accompany you.
I'm ready.
Ah, Malou, Silver. When did you two get here?
We heard that you'll be leaving Poisson and figured that you might require our assistance. It's our hope that your confidence will be bolstered with the two of us by your side.
Thank you so much. Then, let's make haste for Irenaeus. Paimon, Traveler, I'll see you at the Opera House.
See you then!
Suspect analysis. Combining the information regarding the Gardemax and the investigation results thus far, it's been concluded that there can only be one person who can have a large number of Gardemax in his possession and run the synth business without leaving traces. This person is none other than Marcel.
Now that Navia has set out for Irenaeus, we should also get going. The location has already been marked on the map, so let's head over.
Alright, well,
This
that's all.
scenery is wonderful. Surely enough to convince anyone to become a wanderer.
Thank you, Kazuya. Thank you very much for that. Anyways, that's all the time that we have for today. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!